Today is a day like any other in the year 3022. You were taking a space bus to the moon, and in the middle of the journey, you discover something truly tragic. You forgot your headphones, and the trip will be long. Despite knowing it's impolite, you decide to listen to music without headphones. After all, what's the worst thing that could happen? The other bus passengers get offended and decide to kick you off the bus, throwing you into the complete emptiness of space. What would happen to your body if you fell into the vacuum of space? First, you wouldn't be able to hear your music. Sounds are vibrations of material mediums. For example, you hear me speak through this video because your phone makes it vibrate, and your ears detect this vibration. In the vacuum of space, where there is nothing to vibrate, sound cannot escape from your phone to your ears. And it's not just sound that depends on a material medium to move. 2 of the 3 ways heat is exchanged also depend on it. This is good news for you. Despite the average temperature in the vacuum of space being minus 270 degrees Celsius, you won't feel cold. That's because to feel cold, you need to lose body heat, and there's nothing around you to receive that heat. The only way for you to lose heat in the vacuum of space is through thermal radiation, which you can see using thermal cameras. This is a very inefficient way of losing heat, and your body won't have any trouble staying warm in space. In fact, if you're exposed to sunlight, you'll continue to feel the warmth of the sun on your skin without any problem, at least for the next few seconds, while you still have consciousness. Because, if you're not rescued almost immediately, you won't survive. The main danger of the vacuum is low pressure. Once external pressure becomes zero due to the vacuum of space, several things change. The first is that the boiling point of water becomes much lower. Because of this, your body temperature is sufficient to make water evaporate, and you are 70% water. Wonderful. So, if you feel your tongue bubbling while you're in the vacuum of space, it's literally the blood water in your tongue boiling, and your blood as a whole will start to evaporate, possibly resulting in a series of circulation blockages. This is a serious problem, but it's not by far the worst news. More dangerous than low pressure is the difference between the internal pressure of your body and the vacuum pressure. Pressure is force divided by area, meaning pressure is just a different way of measuring forces, and differences in pressure generate forces. Large differences in pressure, like between the atmosphere inside your body and the zero pressure of the vacuum of space, generate powerful forces. Remember, with large pressure differences come great forces. The good news is that the solid parts of your body are resistant enough to withstand these forces. The bad news is that not all of your body is exactly solid. For example, you have 2 large air sacs called lungs, and as far as I know, they are very important when you exit the space bus and enter the vacuum. You have 2 choices. First, try to hold the air in your lungs because it will make them explode due to the extreme pressure difference with the vacuum. If you choose this, you die. The second option is to empty your lungs completely, and then you die too, but you stay alive for a few more minutes. In this second option, you will lose all the oxygen that is not already in your blood. This oxygen will only last for 15 seconds. After that, you will faint from lack of oxygen. After 30 seconds, you may start to have sequelae, and every second from here on becomes more difficult to resuscitate yourself in case of rescue. With a lot of luck, you would survive 3 minutes in the vacuum, but nothing more than that. You might wonder how we know all of this. So, here's the story of someone who survived this vacuum response. NASA engineer Jim LeBlanc. He tested a space suit in a depressurized room, meaning the room was full of vacuum, if that phrase makes any sense. By some accident, his suit disconnected from the oxygen supply, and the air leaked out completely. In just 10 seconds, all the air in his suit escaped, and he was exposed to the vacuum directly for 25 seconds. Jim passed out in 14 seconds. He even wrote that he felt his tongue bubbling before passing out, meaning he felt the blood in his tongue evaporating, which is uncomfortable to say the least. Fortunately, the room was quickly pressurized, so soon he was feeling well, saved only by an earache. He had no long-term damage associated with being in the vacuum for approximately 25 seconds. The moral of this video story is to avoid uncontrolled pressure differences, vacuum, and listening to music without headphones in public places, especially if all that separates you from certain death is a thin wall. Thank you very much, and until next time. If you were to choose a song to listen to on a space bus trip to the moon, what song would you choose?